When I was young, I also did the work of propagating the Buddha Dharma. At first, before I was able to lecture on the sutras, I printed sutras. Whenever someone was printing a sutra, I would contribute enough money for the printing of a few hundred or a few thousand copies. Then I would give them to my friends or relatives, perhaps at New Year's or some other holiday, or on their birthdays. I would make them a present of a copy of a Buddhist sutra. The Chinese like red paper, so I wrapped them in red paper so that they made beautiful gifts. I would say, I am giving you the most important gift there is. Why? Because it can save your life, the life of your wisdom and your Dharma body. Because you are my friend, I am giving you that which I like most, the Buddha Dharma. I spoke to them very sincerely and earnestly, and they could not but read them. Once they read them, they would become interested in the Buddha Dharma and come to me saying, "Where did you get those sutras? I have some friends I would like to give copies to. Can you give me a few more?" Then I was in business distributing books. No matter who was printing sutras, I would subscribe. While I was in Manchuria, my wealth consisted of nothing but Buddhist sutras. I had more sutras in my room in Manchuria than there in this entire lecture hall, a whole lot. Wherever I go, I have a lot of sutras. In Hong Kong, I spent the most money on sutras. I probably printed more than $1 million Hong Kong worth of sutras. When I was about to come to America, I gave away over several $100,000 worth of Buddhist sutras. I would give each person a big package of them as gifts. I had planned to give them away gradually, but because I was going to America, I hurried up and gave them away because I had no place to store them. The thing I liked to do most was print sutras. Now that you are making copies of the lectures, this is also a very good way to spread the Dharma. It pleases me a great deal. This is how I turned the irreversible Dharma wheel. I hope that everyone will exert themselves vigorously in this regard. They had made offerings to limitless hundreds of thousands of Buddhas. Not only did they turn the irreversible Dharma wheel, but they made offerings to all the Buddhas, limitless numbers of them, an uncountable number. How many? Hundreds of thousands of Buddhas. And in the presence of those Buddhas had planted the roots of myriad virtues. These great bodhisattvas throughout the limitless compass and in the presence of limitless Buddhas had sent down and nourished the roots of the virtuous nature. How did they plant them? How did they nurture them? By making offerings to the triple jewel and turning the irreversible Dharma wheel. If you can make offerings to the triple jewel, that is to nourish and nurture the roots of your virtuous nature. They were constantly receiving those Buddhas' praise. The 80,000 Mahasattvas were constantly, at all times, receiving the praise and commendation of all the Buddhas who said to them, "Good man, you are truly fine. Good man, you practice the Bodhisattva way, and you are not bad at all." The Buddhas all praised the Bodhisattvas. They cultivated themselves in compassion. They had always used a compassionate heart to teach and transform beings, and they cultivated compassion in their own persons, and were well able to enter the wisdom of the Buddhas. They were quite capable of attaining the Buddha's wisdom. They had penetrated the great wisdom and arrived at the other shore. They had penetrated the greatest wisdom there is, that is the understanding of the Buddhas. Great wisdom is the Buddha's wisdom. The Buddha's wisdom is the great wisdom. Having attained the great wisdom of the Buddhas, they were then able to arrive at the other shore. The other shore refers to the Sanskrit word paramita, perfection. Their reputations extended throughout the limitless world realms. The 80,000 Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas names had been heard in all the limitless worlds by all living beings who were constantly aware of them, and they were able to cross over countless hundreds of thousands of living beings. They could save and transform an uncountable number of hundreds of thousands, of tens of thousands of them. Sutra, their names were the Bodhisattva Manjushri, the Bodhisattva who contemplates the world's souls, the Bodhisattva who has attained great might, the Bodhisattva constant vigor, the Bodhisattva unresting, the Bodhisattva jeweled palm, the Bodhisattva medicine king, the Bodhisattva courageous giving, the Bodhisattva jeweled moon, the Bodhisattva moonlight, the Bodhisattva full moon, the Bodhisattva great strength, the Bodhisattva unlimited strength, the Bodhisattva who has transcended the three realms, the Bodhisattva Bhadrapala, the Bodhisattva Maitreya, the Bodhisattva jewel accumulation, the Bodhisattva guiding master, and other Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, such as these, 80,000 in all. Commentary. What were the names of the 80,000 Mahasattvas, since there were 80,000 of them? If we were to list every name, the Lotus Sutra would be too long. So, only the few who are leaders have been listed to represent the rest. Their names were the Bodhisattva Manjushri. Manjushri, a Sanskrit word, is interpreted as wonderful virtue or wonderfully auspicious. Of the Bodhisattvas, Manjushri has the greatest wisdom, and so he is known as the greatly wise Bodhisattva Manjushri. Among the Bodhisattvas, he holds the highest rank, and so he is listed first. Before the Bodhisattva who contemplates the souls of the world. There are four great Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattva Manjushri, the Bodhisattva who contemplates the souls of the world, Sanskrit. Avalokiteshvara, Chinese Quan Shi Yin. The Bodhisattva Universal Worthy, Sanskrit Samantabhadra, Chinese Pu Hian. And Earth Store Bodhisattva, Sanskrit Kshitigarbha, Chinese Dita. Bodhisattva Manjushri dwells in China on Wutai Mountain, where his Bodhimanda is located. His efficacious responses are marvelous, beyond all reckoning. He realized Buddhahood long ago and was called Buddha, the race of honored dragon kings. After realizing Buddhahood, he hid away the great and manifested the small, in order to practice the Bodhisattva way and teach and transform living beings and help the Buddha propagate the Dharma. His spiritual penetrations and miraculous functions are inconceivable. In China, the great contemporary late elder master of the most Venerable Hsuan made a vow to bow once every 3 steps to Mount Wutai to pay reverence to the Bodhisattva Manjushri. He bowed from Mount Putuo, an island in the South Chinese Sea, 1,000 miles to Mount Wutai in Shanxi province. Every time he took 3 steps, he made one full prostration to the ground. Then he rose, took 3 steps, and bowed again. He was bowing to the Bodhisattva Manjushri, seeking a response so that he might open his wisdom and become greatly wise just like that Bodhisattva. The distance was approximately 1,000 miles. At one bow every 3 steps, how long would you say it took him? A long time. If you want to know the details, see Elder Master Su Yun's year-to-year autobiography or his pictorial biography. When the Venerable Su Yun had reached the Yellow River, it was winter and snowing. He took refuge from the storm in an old vendor straw hut beside the Yellow River. The snow fell unceasingly, and the Venerable Su Yun was right on the verge of dying from the cold and hunger. Just then an old beggar came by. He melted some snow in a pan and made some yellow rice gruel and gave it to the elder master. When the elder master had eaten it, he felt revived and asked the beggar his name. "My name is Wen," the beggar said. "And what is your other name?" the master asked. "I am called Wen Chi," the beggar replied, and he asked the master, "Where are you from?" "I have come from Mount Putuo in the South China Sea," the master replied. Wen Chi pointed to the snow and said, "Did you have this in the South China Sea?" The master replied, "No." "Then what do people eat there?" The master was speechless. The 2 of them decided to journey together to Mount Wutai. The beggar didn't bow. He carried the master's pack. Without the heavy pack to carry, his bowing and walking was much easier. Before it took great effort to bow and rise, now he was able to bow faster. The master Su Yun was bowing. The master asked Wen Chi, "Where are you from?" "I come from Mount Wutai," said the beggar, "and all the monks there know me. They are all my good friends." They continued their journey. Sometimes they stayed in monasteries along the way, and the monks would gang up on the beggar and scold the master. "If you are making a pilgrimage, make one. If you are bowing, you should just bow. Why have you got an attendant? What kind of show are you putting on?" they jeered. Everywhere they went, the 2 of them were harassed. Sometimes people wouldn't even allow the beggar to stay in the temples, but would immediately throw him out. He underwent a great deal of harsh treatment. Although the beggar had been able to endure a lot of abuse, when the 2 of them had nearly reached Mount Wutai, he finally decided he had suffered enough at the hands of the monks, and he told the master, "Up ahead, someone will come to help you, but I am going to leave now," and he took his leave. The master went on ahead, and sure enough, he soon met an official from Hunan with a horse cart. The official put the master's pack on the horse cart, and the master continued to bow once every 3 steps. When they arrived at Mount Wutai, the master asked if they knew a beggar named Wen Chi, but no one, not a single monk on Mount Wutai, knew of such a beggar. Later, someone asked the master, "What was the beggar's name?" "Wen Chi," the master replied. "Oh, that's Manjushri Bodhisattva. Wen stands for Wen Shu, the Chinese transliteration of Manju, and Ji stands for auspicious, one of the meanings of Sri in Manjushri. The beggar was the Bodhisattva, wonderfully auspicious Manjushri." So the Venerable Master Su Yun had bowed all the way to Mount Wutai seeking a magical response from Manjushri Bodhisattva, and he moved the Bodhisattva to come and carry his backpack for him. Master Hsuan made the tremendously difficult journey of over 1,000 miles to pay reverence to Manjushri Bodhisattva, and Manjushri was walking right along with him for ever such a long time, but he didn't recognize him. When he realized that it was Manjushri Bodhisattva, he was nowhere to be seen. So the wonderful occurrences of Manjushri Bodhisattva are indeed inconceivable. Because the Bodhisattva is wonderful, he transformed himself into a beggar. He could have transformed himself into a wealthy elder with a horse and carriage to help the master, but instead he went with the master on foot and shared his hardships. There are many such incidences of his magical deeds, but we won't go into them now. When Manjushri Bodhisattva was born, 10 kinds of extraordinary events occurred which showed that his merit and virtue was perfect and his wisdom was the foremost. The 10 auspicious signs that manifested at Manjushri's birth were: 1. The room was filled with bright light. On the day that Manjushri Bodhisattva was born, his house was filled with a light that was unlike that of the sun, moon, stars, or lamps. This light represented the Bodhisattva's light of prana wisdom. It indicated that this Bodhisattva had great wisdom which could dispel all darkness. 2. The vessels were filled with sweet dew. Sweet dew is an elixir of immortality found in the heavens. If you drink it, it will make you full. You can go without eating and not feel hungry. We ordinary people get hunger pangs if we skip a meal because we have not obtained the nourishment of sweet dew. Poor Hsian has not eaten for several days, and he is so hungry that he can barely come to recite the sutras or listen to the Dharma. However, he still forces himself to come to the lectures. See how he sits there with his head down and body hunched over. It's as if his spine has gone soft. When I asked him how many days he had gone without eating, he said he didn't remember. I asked him, has it been 100 days? He said no. Has it been 10 days? He said no. I think it's been about a week. Poor child. He's so gaunt from hunger, yet he still grieves his teeth and continues to fast. I feel sorry for him. Today and tomorrow he can drink some water, tea, orange juice or milk. He can eat an apple or an orange. He can take it easy. I don't want him to starve, or else his mother will cry. It won't do for my disciple to starve. Although his teacher won't cry, he will be very pained at heart. So don't be so foolish, you hear? Disciple: yes. All living beings have the Buddha nature, but because you haven't had the response of being anointed with a sweet dew on the crown of your head, you feel hungry and listless. Since you are so weak, you can look for an apple to eat. You can eat 1 or even 2. I will allow it. It won't be considered stealing. Sweet dew can make you full, and it can make you feel pure and refreshed. If hungry ghosts are anointed on the crown with sweet dew, their offense karma is immediately eradicated, and they can go off to rebirth. The vessels were filled with sweet dew. Manjushri Bodhisattva uses sweet dew Dharma to rescue all living beings. When the gate of sweet dew is opened, all the hungry ghosts come in and get their fill.